Gist with Jolly. Bringing you hot and direct gist. From the Nollywood, subscribe and turn notification bell.
Welcome back again to my channel. This is Gist with Julie. Okay, Nolly Direct or Direct Nolly. This is my first time of actually doing a review on this channel, and I thought it wise to do this review. It was recommended of me to watch it. That is going to be very that the movie is a kind of very interesting and emotional. Maybe after seeing it I could actually talk about it, and I felt every reason to talk. This is what is happening in the society today, but unknown to many people. You never may know. This is the name of the movie is Bucket on Nnebe TV, starring Joshua, Chinenye, and other actresses. It's a mental disorder. I forgot the name that was called. Unknown to everybody in this movie that Chinenye was undergoing a mental disorder. She calling her friend that she's coming to Abuja, and the next day she's already in Abuja, and then met a guy, met Joshua Clinton when she was stranded and robbed, and Clinton offered to help her, being a good Samaritan, offered to help her to get a place that night and to sleep at his place that night, since all the hotels in town were filled up because of one program or the other. And then after which she finally located her friend, and they never since became so obsessed with Joshua Clinton. And then I knew right from the beginning that that there was something not adding up, or something very wrong with Chinenye in that movie. But I wanted them to see it, you understand. And the friend she went to meet never knew anything of such was happening to her. She was so weird, behaving so weird, so attached to Clinton, Joshua, everything, obsessed with him, coming to his place afterwards, non 247 on. It was so he was so stalking on Clinton. Clinton, on the other hand, knew something was up, because it got to a point that he started avoiding all her calls because it was coming constant, stalking on him, sending her pictures of her, and many things that's so weird that it were not good. And I felt Joshua was so uncomfortable with all the happenings that he started avoiding Chinenye. Okay, in reality of life, this had happened, and when I was watching this movie, I remembered one actress in Nigeria that this happened to, and one day we woke up to one disturbing news that she called her husband name, that her husband wanted to kill her, that her husband is a woman beater, a this and that, and then she was taken to the hospital. Everybody on the internet was very insultive to the husband, unknown to everyone that this lady was going through mental stage. And do you know, all the while the husband had covered her over the years since they got married, covered this problem of mental problem to the eyes of the public, because they were living very well. They were living so beautifully well with children, happy married. Do you know that the time they got married, I was kind of wishing for that kind of marriage, because the wedding was so beautiful, everything, the children started coming, so cute children. And the man is a producer, an Nollywood producer, and the lady in question has been so supportive, acting movies, and whenever they appear with their family pictures on public, you will fall in love with them. And it got to a point that one day everybody woke up with this news that my husband hate me. He hate me. He's a woman hater. He did this. I don't want to ever see him. blah 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 blah, and everybody was trooped to her internet, to her IG, and were raining insults on the husband, not knowing the real truth of the story, that she was going through a mental state. It was one day I read that she came out on air and gave a kind of explanation of what she was going through, that when she did mention that thing, she was not on the right state of mind, that her husband is one best man she had ever met or known in this life. She had to clear the air because the insults people were raining on the man was so much that people were like thinking the man actually beat her up and she was in that state. So after she narrated everything, she said she was on a drug, that she has this mental illness of which she had been managing even before she met her husband. So her husband knew all along of what was going on in her life, and kept helping her with her drugs, her medication, and was helping her through with all that things. You understand? So she narrated how her husband will like bundle her if she goes or like haywire, when maybe she didn't take her meds and it triggers off, and then you will not even be able to hold her. She can, like, all those kind of people, there are lots of them in the world. Those kind of people, you will see them breaking anything once they get angry. When they get triggered, they can break anything, they can scatter the house. And there was even one on the internet one that the young girl had to break every single thing in the house, had to spoil every single in the house because of what? This mental stage. But it can manage. I think this movie is a kind of a lesson to everybody, like those going through this. You don't just have to, like, once you notice somebody's behaving more than weird, like a human being, like weird, like more than how a normal human being should behave, I think you should alert appropriate authority, because it's a kind of, they are creating awareness that these things, a lot of people, not just ladies, a lot of people go through it, and they go through this problem unknown to many people. So if you don't recognize them through this weird attitude of them, you may not be able to understand that this kind of people are going through such a stage. You understand? So this person I was talking about came out on air and cleared everything, how she had been managing this illness for so long, that through medication, that her doctors know her very well. When it starts, the way the husband will bundle her, the fact that the husband has learned how to like handle her, because most people may not understand. And it got to a point they went for a kind of concert or an awards, kind of a business trip in Ghana, and then he was worried that what if this thing happens, how will he be able to do it, because many people don't understand what is going on. They will think maybe because the way he will bundle her, many people would think maybe he's rough handling the wife, or maybe he's very very woman beater or something. But she was explaining it that if the husband doesn't do that, she will go out of control. And the husband often does that. Once he bundles her, he knows the right place to take her immediately. You understand? And then they know the medication. She has been on medication for so long, and that is what has been helping her to keep on the right frame of mind. And she said she had not, that the husband is the most beautiful or most good, the most, how will I use that English, good man she has ever known, because he understands her very well. But now this whole thing now contradicts the statement she made when she was on that mental state. It means that that mental state can actually make you real the most beautiful things you've ever had in this life. And that was what happened to Chinenye. Very lovely girl, not knowing, the mother wanted to send her to psychiatric, and before you know it, she disappeared. And then her friend, and then we should also know our friends, even to the roots. We should know the kind of friends that we keep. We should know them to their very house. You don't know this girl. Maybe they met in university and they became friends, and maybe while she was in university she was taking her meds under her mother's control or whatever, so there was no way her friend, I don't know, I'm just thinking loud, maybe during they got to know during university days or something. I know you may not know everybody that comes your way, you understand? So along the line maybe they got to know. Your friend tells you I'm coming over, and then you agreed. You don't even know this lady to her house, you don't even have her mother's number, and then you're her friend. So these are the things we should learn. It's really packed with lessons, I must tell you. You ought to know people you call your friends to their house. You should know their siblings. You should know your friends' siblings. You should know their parents. You should know the number of their parents. You understand? So that is what this movie is teaching us. Imagine if the cousin didn't tell her that you need to reach out to her mom when they discovered that the lady was behaving abnormal. Then she wouldn't have known. She ought to have called her. Okay, the right time the friend ought to have called her. The mom was when this friend was ignoring her mom's call. You should know that something was really up by trying to see why aren't you picking up, because she's always like she doesn't want to pick her mom's call. Then as a friend you should know why, and then press harder to understand why, and then if possible go and then look for a way to contacting the mother. And he saw that the mother was constantly calling because of what she knew, the state of her daughter. She knew she was restless wherever she was, and that was why she was calling non-stop. So this is a kind of a lesson that we should learn and then be aware, so that when we spot them in the society, we'll be able to alert people, appropriate authorities, that look at this person isn't behaving normal like a normal human being should behave. You understand? So it's a kind of a lesson packed, and it was so emotional. There were emotional scenes because I really felt for Chinenye, because nobody understood the state of which she was going, and then everybody misunderstood her, that she was being overbearing, desperate. That's the word to use. That she was too desperate for a man. No, if she was on a normal state, she wouldn't have. How can you be saying somebody is reading a piece of line of for you when you got it on the internet? I don't really want to say every details of this movie because I want you all to go see it. It's very interesting and so packed, emotional. I felt really for her because the state at which she was desperate to be with Clinton, but Clinton was already spotting those weird attitude of her and was avoiding her. You understand? So the lesson in this movie is really an interesting one, and is an awareness, and I want us to really see it. Chinenye did marvelously well. I love Chinenye a lot. I love her movies. She's always I love this family. Chinenye, I see Sonia Uche. They are so cute. They deliver their lines so well. I am telling you. So you need to go and support them on this very movie. Chinenye did excellently well. Kudos to all the cast and crew, the directors, the producers of this movie. Bucket is the name. Bucket. It is a mental awareness to everybody. Mental awareness that people go through in life, or not to some people, and people how they manage it is through medication. Some people are living on drugs because when it triggers, you may not be able to control it. And I guess Chinenye had not been able to take her drugs because she was quite away for some time. She was away from home, away from the people who really understood the mental illness itself. If she was under the mother's watch, she would have understood her daughter and known that yes, at least she knows her daughter is going through that stage. At least I know that she will be on drugs that helps her to keep her in check. But having not been on drug for so long, it had now triggered her to start misbehaving unnecessarily. So let us pass this message across to others to watch this movie. Let us create awareness that this kind of illness exists. Please remind me the name of that illness again, and then don't fail to share, because those people who are going through it will be able to, like, yes, appreciate the fact that this kind of awareness is going around for people to know. And don't judge them when you see them going through this. You don't go judging them that they are destroying everything. It's because they are not in their right frame of mind. So Chinenye did excellently well. She played that role so well. And then I give it also to the driver. The driver was a kind of a comic relief on that movie, and I love that the part he played. Very protective of his master, and that he wouldn't fall into danger, knowing that you're meeting a stranger for the first time and you just want to lend a helping hand. In a world like this, things don't just happen that way, because you never can know who you are actually helping. And at the end of the day, the driver started from the beginning and the end again. He now came and said, I told you, basta, and now you're going to help the second time. He was a comic relief. I love that aspect of it. So my criticism in this movie is that friend of hers. You notice some kind of weird attitude that your friend was keeping, or the room very unkempt. It's very talking to you like unnecessarily, avoiding the calls of her mom. You should have spotted from the onset that something was up. So you should have made moves on how to reach out. Then you should know the kind of friends you keep. I guess that is the area I'm pointing, that they didn't make it for us to, like, okay, it's a kind of a teaching too, that we should know the kind of friends we are keeping. You understand? We should know them to their homes, and not just knowing them because we know them. You understand? So it is a very good movie. A thumbs up to you, Chinenye. But boy, it's a very good movie, and it depicts exactly what's going on in the society. So if you have not seen Bucket, do go and see it, streaming at Uche Nabo TV or YouTube's channel. Please don't forget to subscribe and share to others to see this very interesting masterpiece. Thank you so much for listening. I'm still Nolly Direct.